So we got Alan here from the Mets, Andy here from the Giants. We've got Larry here from the White Sox, and we've got me here, the fucking commissioner, okay? Andy, what are your thoughts on the AL East division for 2034?
Well, it's pretty clear that the Red Sox are the front runner here. Got about 8 for sure all-stars or so. Expo's taking a little step back with some questionable trades there. Yankees are still at least another year out. Ditto with Baltimore, and Mr. Toronto GM, haven't seen you doing a whole lot there. I'm thinking you got another 500 season in you.
Well, I mean, I'm on number 6 on WAR added. It's not a lot of WAR added, but if you take a look at my squad, I think it's a decent squad, man.
Well, let's take a look here.
Why don't you take a look?
Well, how about you give me the overall what you expect from the team here, Nersh?
It's hard to say. It's always hard to say every year because I play in a division with Boston and Montreal, which was you up until a couple years ago. And Chef is never afraid to do something crazy to try to make his team better. So it's hard to say. But I think for the first time in a long time, I actually have a legitimate 5-man rotation. I've been waiting a long time for a lot of these puppies, as Jim calls them, to grow into what they are. I went out and got that Brent Zufelt this offseason. I don't know, man. I feel like I actually have pitching this year.
Yeah, it looks like that Latinga guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
With Charles.
I'm hoping to fight for a playoff spot this year.
Nice, man.
Yeah, no, I would put Toronto solidly in second. I mean, there's not a team in either league that can probably beat the Red Sox for a division, except maybe the Twins.
It seems like he made a couple uncharacteristic trades this offseason, though.
Maybe a little bit of irrational, just desperation out of the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Not used to, especially from a 735 team.
Exactly. What more can you do?
Well, I think you're still behind Montreal here. They still have a pretty fucking great lineup going. You got your boy. Are you gonna DH Velasco here? Is he playing in the field?
I don't know yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Montreal, obviously, they lost Baker, Anderson, Puffer, probably someone else. But that lineup, man, they still got Ward, Sorensen, Tapia, Zielinski, Mendoza, King. That's pretty fucking beastly.
There's Shop and that, what is it, Ward, Paul Ward?
Yeah, he's put all the outfielders on the block there. But
there's not a team that lost more WAR this offseason than Montreal. I don't know if that means anything.
Well, if you go by that 15 wins, I mean, that takes him. Where was he?
He was 114.
Jesus.
Yeah, like I said, 114. So I mean, minus 15 wins, you're still 99 wins. Yeah, so he's still.
But yeah, the back of the rotation looks a little questionable.
For right now, it looks like on paper it would be Boston, Montreal, Toronto, Baltimore, Yankees.
Baltimore's got some nice pieces in there, but not a complete squad just yet.
Looking like they're moving in the right direction.
New York might be looking at that first pick next year if they're lucky. Pretty weak ML squad at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they can get 50 wins, I mean, do they get 50? I guess
they didn't get 50 wins this year. They're getting bumped back to 10 slots, so that's kind of brutal. Way she goes, though.
I wouldn't be surprised in this division if they end up there again.
Yeah, but those division matchups, I'd be surprised to see them get 50. This ML squad looks pretty terrible.
All right, Larry, what's going on in the AL Central?
The Minnesota Twins are the Kings, and that isn't changing anytime soon. That is I don't even know what to say about it.
Patty's done quite a good job over there.
Yeah, I mean, every move that he made during that rebuild turned into gold.
I think the big part of it was Thorpe.
For sure, yeah, and both sides of it. that trade, the centerpiece of that trade, at least from my guy's perspective, was Bill O'Neill.
Well, no, because you got Lozano in there too,
Well,
and then a
that's what I'm
first
saying.
round pick.
That's what I'm saying, is when that trade was made, Bill O'Neill looked, at least to me, and it may have been different for other people, like the best part of that deal. And it turned out that he's great, but he wasn't even the best part of the deal.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yep. Then waited for the rebuild to go, and then signed Thorpe back to some monster deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had a bunch of assets that was able to give away. That was to get Haugen in there
To win another championship.
Well done, Patty.
Yeah, seriously, that's beautiful. That's legendary stuff right there.
Yep. And the first season that contract was $100 million, is that right?
The first season of that deal was $100 million salary.
Brilliant.
That's decent.
Yeah, is that good?
It's about my whole fucking payroll. Yeah, so close.
So probably Minnesota. What? Are you second place, Larry? Is Kansas City second place?
I mean, I'm rolling pretty much the same team out there this year, and I know he's lost a few pieces, but
No nibbles on the trade block.
I'm hoping to make a. If I can't add bats, then I'll probably be selling by May, but hopefully add something.
Josh will finish last.
Hot take.
Well, my boy.
He's getting
Joshua
better.
here,
He's starting to look better.
he's got a lineup. Actually, it's pretty good, but his pitching staff is fucking terrible.
Yes.
In the lineup here, he's got Ayala, Stables, Brown.
To be
They
fair,
still
I
have great
mean,
years.
it's not like there's anything he could have done about his pitching staff, right? Like it's.
Could have kept
No.
Jeremy Hernandez.
Well, there's that.
Whoops.
Wait, no. I mean, he had to trade him, right?
Why would you keep a guy like,
I have no idea. Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to Josh.
I mean, if he had like a father who was a great major league pitcher and you were sure he was going to do something, then maybe you keep him. But
yeah, definitely a lot of red flags early on in his career. Got to get him out of town there.
For pitching, he did just bring in that Julian Bush, who should become a good starter.
I will say
But he
that,
dealt off Zelensky.
yes, and
Might have been a good time for that, though.
yeah, that's not terrible. And the Ayala thing, he's right. He said it a couple of weeks ago. He caught a lot of flack for not taking Mark Rennie, was it?
Who, Josh?
Yeah, that was the draft where he took. No, it was Henninger in New York. Yeah, and that that worked out for him.
Jesus, I just pulled up Ayala here. That boy's pretty damn good. 90,
Yeah.
85, 70, 80, 75.
And plays defense.
Bobby Ayala, man, but he used to be a pitcher for the Mariners back in the 90s, and fuck, he was terrible.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, and good glove. I mean, at least pass.
Trade him away, Josh.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, honestly.
It looks like these predictions are decent. Minnesota, White Sox, Royals, Tigers, Indians. I could see it ending up that way.
I mean, one of the things is that with the Expos trading pieces, I mean, it immediately changed. Like it suddenly improves my outlook even without it. I mean, we signed Ray Hill back, and that puts us basically back in the same place we were a year ago. But with the Expos trading a bunch of pieces, it sort of opens up the wild card to discuss for everybody instead of it just being one piece.
Yeah, my prediction here is going to be Minnesota, Kansas City, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland. No offense, Larry. Start selling.
Woof.
Detroit, what?
It's not too far off, though. It's showing Larry 93 and Josh 84.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we were neck and neck for a while there. I mean, he was ahead of me in the division last year until the last week. And our teams haven't changed by a ton.
I'm trying to see who Kansas City lost here. I didn't think they lost anybody. I know they gave away that pitcher to Miami, but he was starting to suck and made a shitload of money.
Yeah, Kansas City lost.
Let's see. He didn't lose anybody.
Fred.
Actually. Anybody on his, at least on
Well, he lost Ken Moran, Fred Larson.
Negative war.
Exactly. Like, he didn't lose anything worthwhile.
Who was the Zoofelt that you got? Was that from Kansas City?
No, I got the one from Seattle. I originally had both of those guys, though.
Kansas City's got really good outfield, catcher, third base. Really only seeing one standout starter, though. Yeah, I'll stick with those predictions here, man. On the Indians, I think he's got to get some better coaching or some shit because, well, it looks like he's got to. I don't know, man. He's had some good pitchers that have just been super awful on that team in the last couple of years. Kiatchon, man, I thought he was always good, but he hasn't done nothing.
I think it's
acquired
still
Jackson
just
from him, who's had awful
morale.
seasons.
Organizational morale is still in turmoil from legendary Michael just destroying that franchise.
Classic Mike.
Shout out to Mike. Okay, Andy, take it away with the AL West.
Well, by character-wise, Dave's the best character in the league. Great guy. He's a pretty silly guy. I believe he's a grandfather, so he says. Maybe he's lying to me. Who knows? But he likes to drink some good beers. Respect that. Anyways, I think this is the worst division in the baseball here. My buddy Juan, who's pretty upset with me at the moment, I think he's the easy front runner in this division, and the other 4 teams are in for long years.
Yeah, seriously. Win the division with 86, it says.
And maybe he's the first guest because I'd really like to explore this, whatever this beef is.
Yeah, I would love to talk to him.
I mean, what happened there?
Well, I guess I can say I started a conspiracy theory. It's had a weird feeling that Texas and Colorado were pretty similar fellas. Got around and he did not appreciate it very much. But I have no evidence. But Juan is very upset with me.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're both in the West. Like, they're obviously in the same region.
But yeah, as far as these teams here, Seattle's awful. Houston's awful. Angels might be a nice pick for a 500 team, or if the division's really bad, that they can hang in there until the last few weeks.
I think Aaron's probably going to be smart enough to try to go for a really high pick again. So I'm going to say he finishes last. I'd say probably Texas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Houston, Seattle.
I'm not too familiar with Oakland, actually. Let's see here. They might be my pick for second as well.
Oakland doesn't seem to change much ever, really.
It's remarkably similar to the one that won the World Series in 26.
It's a pretty similar team to that, I think.
Yeah, well, if you look at like the position overview, I'm only seeing one guy in the top 8. Obviously, everybody doesn't have their players currently located in the right positions or whatever. It's because it's spring training. But yeah, I'm showing Troy McClure's in center field's the only top 8 player across the league for their position.
Red Sox and Mets have just made a trade.
Oh, shoot. Break the news.
Yeah, Mets, what's going on, man?
There's a reason why I've been quiet.
Oh, Alan, how are you?
What's going on?
What happened?
We have a trade to announce.
Did
We've
you
been
get
talking.
Boston?
What'd you say?
Did you get Boston?
Maybe.
Let's hear the details, man. I haven't looked at anything.
What'd you get?
2 prospects and a mighty 7th rounder.
You should probably send that 7th rounder to Philadelphia. I hear they're looking for those. What'd you give up?
Yamamoto. He's like a borderline starter.
We're breaking it down. We're analyzing it.
Yamamoto.
Definitely.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
man,
Number
this
4
man-
starter or so.
he is a starter for sure. He is, maybe a 3-4 starter. Got back a pitcher that looks pretty similar.
Yeah.
Ben Morris, plus an outfielder who's a long ways away, but it's pretty decent. Nice contact.
Yeah, it's not a major trade by any means, but kind of, I'm kind of being patient with my team, so figured I'd add another piece or 2.
Switching it up a little bit, eh?
Mm-hmm. Plus, I've got, I've got all these mid-40s guys, as my starters. So there's going to be kind of kind of a lot of competition for those final couple spots.
Who was the main prospect you got there?
I guess Ben Morris would be the main one. He's
Ben
a
Morris.
starting pitching prospect. Like I said, not a major trade, but
That's all right, man. Like a little
Yep.
trade.
I
What
bet
you
you
got to do?
find a diamond in the rough of that 7th round.
yeah. We'll see
And
about that.
you clearly win that trade.
I definitely don't think you got Bostoned on that one. I know he's been really looking for pitching, so even a little move like that, I think is gonna help him out. He's definitely been trying to get another starting pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, he told me straight up he was looking for a 5th starter. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not trading away my good pitchers in my division, man. That's not happening.
I think he has the best rotation in the AL. Is just frustrated with the way playoffs gone the last few years.
Yeah, exactly.
That
And he
poor
still
guy.
got Morgan, still has Hernandez. I think he's got another guy.
That poor guy and his pitching problems.
I know.
Yeah. Good God.
Okay, moving on.
Maybe we should spend some time trying to find a problem with that team.
Well, in that
Yep.
rotation, they got Jeremy Hernandez, 80, Williams, 80, Morgan, 69.
Well, no, what
He's
we
got
should
90
do is an
stuff.
episode on just him, but like a
Bruce.
trade tree where we explain how he got everything that he got.
He is, without a doubt, the most advanced and prolific trader in this league.
He just
No.
has a higher standard.
I'm
He's just
offended,
like,
I'm
listen,
offended, Larry.
no, he sets his price and he sticks to it, and you're not getting anything for anything less than that.
Well, and more than that, like
Gotta do it.
more than anyone else, he does these trades over and over again where he drafts well, but he's drafting at the back of every round, and he's picking up guys who end up being 50s, 60s type guys, and trading 3 of them at a time for an all-star over
Yeah.
and over again.
And he also likes to trade guys before they get a massive payday, and then he brings in a young guy.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and Andy, you're on that list too, for sure.
Hey,
But-
thanks, man. But,
but
you
that-
know, I can't
but-
argue with it too much.
but
Another
that-
thing he does is with he'll use his IFA money, sign a pretty solid little spec, and then flip it pretty close to right after.
Yeah, he's not worried about the money. And he doesn't have to be. Guess we move on. Alan, do you want to start?
I mean, I haven't looked a ton at the other teams, but I do know that several of them picked up some good stuff this year, so it's gonna be a tough division. Obviously, the Phillies gained a whole bunch.
Yeah, for this NL East here, I think that Braves GM is kind of on his way to being the Red Sox GM of the East. He's kind of quietly making some nice little moves there. Got a deep squad.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yep, Nats have kind of gone all in here. I think they don't really have any actual prospects left, but their ML squad is not too old and they're pretty well set just about everywhere. They got to get some pitching. That's been this problem in the past. They signed that Palazzo dude to what was that, 300 or 400 million. And then they got a couple of other starters in there that are okay, but has some home run tendencies.
Yeah, there's a lot of money being paid out over there.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the hardest division to kind of guess what's going to happen.
Palazzo
I got the Mets 4th and Miami 5th, but the top 3 I can kind of see going anyway.
Palazzo is $355 million. He's never played a game in the file.
My predictions is, we got the Mets 4th, Miami 5th, and the top 3 could really kind of go any way. But if I was gun to my head, I'm going to say the Braves, Phillies, and then Nat.
Going to be nice to see the rivalry between Washington and Philadelphia kind of heat up as they're competing in game against each other.
Yeah, I hope it turns into some real serious hate.
Really hope they never meet each other in person.
I got $5 towards one of their airfares toward each other. Maybe we'll start a little GoFundMe.
I'll pitch in for that as long as someone films it.
I like this idea.
a GoFundMe for Philadelphia and Washington fucking cage match.
For a death match.
Yeah. We would probably raise enough money for the airfare too, I bet you.
The NL Central, from what they were 2 years ago, has downgraded quite a bit. Cubs are down, Reds are down. Those were two of the four probably best teams 2-3 years ago.
Unfortunate situation over in Milwaukee, if we're being honest.
Really bad.
That's one of the worst couple of off seasons I've seen for a team, with the fine 1 year and then basically just missing Rule 5 draft.
Ooh, I didn't notice that one. Did they lose a couple studs in there?
Well, I'll go to the off season summary. Mario Saez, Jordana, Soto, Nunez,
Wow.
Kivett.
Huh?
Looks like about 5-6 real good prospects.
Damn.
So that's unfortunate, because they were looking really good.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. And I really hope it's not a, I mean, talking in terms of the online league side of this, it's a symptom, not a problem. Like I don't like it when managers that are that good and had that much success lose interest either, because I mean he also had a contract violation that has hurt him pretty bad, right? So
yeah, it's not a malicious thing. You are a really good GM, but like, what's going on here? It's just.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not saying what I hate to see is when they lose interest, or when they lose a little bit of focus because maybe they didn't. It sucks. It sucks. Nothing that should have been done differently about it from a league management standpoint. I'm just lamenting that it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd probably say one of, if not the coolest thing about this league is that this division has had the same GMs, I believe, since year one.
Totally.
But for my predictions, I still got the Brewers in the top there. Second, I got the Cardinals. He's been kind of building a little mini monster there the last couple of years from when he took a step away. And I got the Pirates third, Reds fourth, and Bobby's in the gutter for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's a pretty wide open division, but Milwaukee will probably take it, I would think.
Yeah, I do like a lot what the Cardinals got building over there. They probably need to cash in on a few chips to get some more elite players, but they got a pretty deep squad.
Shout out to Jeff. I mean, that's always. I mean, he's been around since the beginning, and always, in my eyes at least, I'm talking with one of the more knowledgeable.
Yeah, probably one of the fairest traders as well.
Yep.
The deals I've had, I get a little sad because I don't feel like I'm ripping them off enough. Wait, did I say that on the air?
It's okay, Andy. We know.
Not yet, but we all know.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, Andy, the National League West Division.
Well, Nurse, very wide open division here. I'm very biased. I think the Giants are going to win it, but that's a lot of bias speaking. I'll speak for the Giants here. Kind of started our off season the middle of last year. Brought in Takata from the Orioles. That guy's a stud. Also traded for a catcher, a little upgrade from the Angels. Got brought in Logan. And other than also
I was surprised you did that. Logan is fucking wrecked.
He is. He has a shitty injury history, but if he plays, he's really good. So that's what I'm kind of banking on. I kept my catcher from last year. He was league average or so. So if he has to lose time, we should be okay. And then the other big move was brought in Judson, the starter from the Indians. He's got crazy good ratings, and in his 2 or 3 years in the bigs, he's been really shitty. So I'm hoping a little change of scenery here brings him to the Cy Young competition. And other than that, starting to get the young guys into the lineup. I know it usually takes a year or two to get those guys kind of going for the most part, but feeling good. I think might need another move though. Arizona finally got it together last year. He's got a good squad. Shad's been making a good squad at the Dodgers. Fucking Raleigh, he's still hanging around there, and well, I think San Diego's the team that's going to be in the last place this year. Just classic Mike being complacent.
He is the original complacent dude, right?
Yep.
He is, and I don't know what it is. Like, why is he still here? I have no beef with him at all. I'm glad he is still here, but
I know Mike in real life here. I wonder if his complacency is with having 2 little children, perhaps.
yeah, well, he needs to get his fucking priorities straight.
Fucking A.
Yeah, and he lost in the semifinals of fantasy football. So fuck you, Mike.
So is your sole purpose in this division to see the Rockies finish last or the Padres finish last?
I think the Padres got 2 elite outfielders, and after that, it's pretty weak. I think Raleigh's gonna. Yeah, I'll say Padres 5th, Rockies 4th, Dodgers 3rd, Arizona 2nd, and I'm just a big homer for my own team. I'm gonna say myself first, but we'll be interested to see if it happens.
You are about to turn into the Minnesota Twins of the NL. That is a nasty, nasty group of prospects you got coming up.
That's the plan, dude. I took over. Let's see. First thing to do was trade for this prospect Rosa to the Twins. Had the first pick, got Coppola. He's going to be in the bigs this year. He should be pretty damn good. Spent a shitload of money
AKA
on
Nicolas
Billy
Cage
Nelson.
Jr.
Yeah, is he going to have a name change sometime soon?
Which one?
He probably will, yes.
Which one?
Coppola.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Anus Rammer.
No, Anus Rammer's name is perfectly fine the way it is.
It's also not anus, it's an ass.
What kind of delinquent comes up with this stuff?
Oh, I don't know, but we should definitely get rid of him.
But it also takes a lot of those young dudes kind of a year to actually get results. So I think if I don't win it this year, it's because there are too many young guys that just aren't ready to play at their prime yet.
Something we could speculate on that may or may not have an impact on your future or ability to compete is Arizona and Chris Lincecum too. He's heading into, this is the last year of his contract, so he's pretty much the top player on the market without a contract heading into the off season. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets re-signed and for how much, or if he gets shopped and rented, or if he whatever happens.
Yeah, that's true. I think the best player in this division last year was Sato from the Diamondbacks. That guy had a monster year. Yeah, let's see here. Led the league with 232 hits, a 368 average, 9 WAR. That guy, he was a monster last year.
Yeah, he's in second year in the league too, 9 more.
Is Allen making another trade somewhere?
Huh? No.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Alan's just busy working the phones there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, on that topic, I have some breaking news as well. And
fuck.
related.
Uh-oh.
The White Sox and Expos have made a trade.
Oh, God damn it. We're very happy.
So this is a good trade. I don't. So I'm picking up Paul Word and Andres Mendoza from the Expos for Gabe Reyes, Major League pitcher. 2 Major League outfielders, Dustin Tunks and Tim Miller, but the centerpieces, I'd say, of the trade are Brad York, a left fielder, and Sadamu Noguchi, also an outfielder in winter ball. 2 of my top prospects, along with what I would say is close to another top prospect, starting pitcher Manny Thompson, and 2 draft picks, a 4th and a 5th round.
Haven't looked yet, but
the big pieces are York and Noguchi for sure. Those
I'll be looking when I process it later, but that's how are you feeling about it?
I didn't like giving up both those out. We were basically at this point yesterday in the morning, and he demanded Noguchi and stuck to his guns on that. And at the time, we were talking about Frank King instead of Mendoza. I ended up with Mendoza, who he's got an option year coming up that I'm a little afraid of, but we'll do what we can to re-sign him. And Noguchi's going to be a star. Brad York, I'm glad he went to an AL team. I think he can play outfield. He's more of a DH type, but he can play outfield if needed. But those two are the big pieces. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I think it puts me a little bit closer to playoffs, or a little bit closer to certainty in the playoffs, especially taking pieces from the Expos, who might be a team that I'd be competing with in a wild card. But it also gives him Gabe Reyes, another lefty, and that's how I think how much I wanted to upgrade the outfield. I mean, giving up.
Yeah, you slept on it and you couldn't let it go, eh?
Yeah, I mean, giving up a lefty starter when I've got the Twins to contend with, my best lefty starter. That's how much I think Ward and Mendoza are going to help me.
Yeah, your circumstances are definitely different than other teams because you have the Twins in front of you.
Yeah,
I feel you, man.
The sprade's looking pretty gross here. Taking a look here. Yeah, Larry, I think you did quite a job there. York looks like a DH.
Yeah, I agree.
Noguchi, very replaceable. Fringe starter for me.
Interesting though, and this is part of the Noguchi. Everybody, I've had conversations with this guy about, and I'll post this in the show notes if we need to. But Noguchi is a guy that I have rated at least 10 points higher than anyone I talk with about him. I have people ask about him, and I say, it doesn't make any sense for me to put him in this deal because we value him differently. And I think Chef's guy has a more similar view on Noguchi.
Yeah, that's
yeah. I got OSI at 51. My scouts.
People need to remember that and keep that in mind.
Yeah, my guy has, and I will. I mean, I joke, but I will post this just because we're talking about it. I would post it in the show notes if anybody wanted it. My guy's got Noguchi at 65 potential as an elite contact guy and an elite defender.
Yeah,
we don't really need outfielders now with Ward, Combo, and Mendoza.
As long as I can get Mendoza to sign something, yes.
Also, just so you know, Paul Ward only has 3 years of major league service time, and he hasn't been through ARB yet. So don't go signing him to like any 7-year deals or anything like that.
I'm immediately going to sign him to a 7-year, $50 million a year deal.
Shout out Chef Hammer, love you, buddy.
Get ready, Chef. You're about to be undone.
Wow, 2 live trades on the first podcast, boys.
Good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I have Noguchi as 64. So when we were talking yesterday, I was hoping your scout didn't have him as high.
Yeah, man. You're the first person I've talked to who's even got him in the 60s. Chef's guy had, I won't say, but it was closer than most people have them.
Yeah.
Gabe Reyes is a big deal too. That's a dude who's, I mean, he's maybe not an ace, but he's only making $10.5 million.
I see Noguchi as a 41-66.
Your guy likes him more than me. Our guys, your scout and mine always like I mean I'll see guys that pick similar to me in drafts, but I swear you're always taking guys I want.
Nice. I don't think we've made many trades, maybe just one.
And that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we made one. I mean, I was in on that Madison Bumgarner deal you did back in like 30 or something.
I feel like we made one trade. I can't remember what it was.
Okay, so is Arizona taken by anybody?
Yeah, the whole league's full.
Have you seen their personnel?
Some people don't give a shit about it, and I should make it a rule if I haven't already.
Yeah, they literally have 4 coaches for their entire organization.
Jesus. Bye.
Yeah, he's probably not even aware.
Probably not. He has a scouting director, assistant GM, and then a GM. Well, obviously that's him. And then a pitching coach in the Winter League, and that's it. No team trainer, no hitting coach, no pitching coach, no bench coach. I just thought that was crazy.
That's I don't know. I can't honestly say what it does to a team, but I can't imagine that it's not hurting his development.
Yeah, it's hard for me to even say what effect that does have, but when I was making my own file, I was just like, you know what? This is too cool of a feature for me to not utilize, and like,
Yeah, I agree.
I knew it was going to take work and I couldn't just turn it on and leave it be. Like, I was going to have to put work into it every season, and it's taken several seasons to make it worthwhile, but I think when you go and look around the league now, we have some legitimate, real good staff in this league.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they
Okay, I want to know what, if any, and you don't have
8.5 inches.
Wow. What championship meant more to you?
The first one. The first
Why?
one. Well, I mean, I broke the curse. I did it before the real life Cubs, and I did it by fleecing the crosstown White Sox in a blockbuster trade.
What was the trade? Remind us all.
It was a young man by the name of Jose Quintana, a nice left-handed starting pitcher. Traded him for Lewin Diaz and what was the other guy's name, Larry?
Who?
Lewin Diaz and Trevor Clifton.
Some stupid pitcher.
And this is actually, that's a great, so we did that trade in game on, I'm looking at June 29th, 2017. And on July 13th, 2017, in real life, the Cubs traded for Jose Quintana. That was after we had done it. Now we did that trade for a promising young power hitting outfielder and a promising young right-handed pitcher, which is what the real life teams did it for also. Eloy Jimenez is going to have a better career than Lewin Diaz did.
Rick Hahn is smarter than I am.
There's a lot about that year that was awesome for sure. That World Series ended with a walk-off grand slam.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about that World Series a little bit later on.
I look forward to that.
Is that your favorite trade?
By far, easily.
Really, that's it, eh?
Easily. I mean, Jose
You made a couple good trades with Colorado. I'm looking at Tom Murphy here.
Yeah. I did, yeah. Tom Murphy, Brendan Rodgers with Colorado. But Jose Quintana pitched 289 games for the Cubs, 140 wins, 47 wins above replacement. It's a Hall of Fame career on the north side.
Do you guys have, either one of you guys have any memories of like being in PSD and then like coming to this league, or like why or how that happened or anything like that?
I do.
I would love to hear that, or
Oh
from
my
either
God.
one of you.
I was skeptical. I think at first I was skeptical. I think we talked about it. I was like, man, people, because I think we were enjoying PSD at the time. I thought it was pretty fine. Like, man, we're going to split the league. Like, people are going to go over this other thing. People are going to pay less attention to it. And Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I moved right away, and maybe you waited a few weeks or a month or something like that. And I ended up, I think I said to you, because PSD didn't have scouting. It was all fictional, right? Is that right?
Yes.
It did not
Yeah.
have scouting. Right?
Yeah, and
It didn't have
remember this one.
staff or personnel either.
Right. So I got over this one. I'm just like, man, this is a lot better. It's a lot more fun. And then I think you immediately made the move, and I think all of us were out of PSD within like a month.
Yeah, the White Sox being available was a big thing for me, but also I had totally fucked the White Sox in PSD. So
For me, it was Tim made that Paul guy a fucking like assistant commish or whatever, and I was like, man, like, I should be the assistant commish. Like, you've been teaching me like how to run the league and stuff, and I was just like, you know what, man, like, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna just start my own league. And that's the thing about all the other people I was in leagues with before. When I asked them questions or whatever, or told them I wanted to start my own league, like, they were never like hostile. They were like if you have any questions, let me know. Like, I still talk to Tim from PSD to this day. Like, we check in with each other, and like if I have questions, I ask him. But there was never any time ever when I was wanting to learn how to run a league where anyone was ever like rude to me. They just like always gave me all the info I needed. So I always try to do that when people ask me too. But
Well,
I don't know.
And when you started MLM, it was like a subsidiary of PSD, right? Like, I mean, we were sharing like a Slack channel for a little bit.
Yeah, like it was like sponsored by PSD. It was like this is gonna be like our new, more advanced kind of thing.
Yeah. And all the ways that an OOTP, and not to talk shit about PSD, I know it's still running, right?
PSD's great, yeah. Like, PSD's still running. I love Tim. He's a great guy. He taught me a lot. He still replies to my messages to this day. So cheers
That's
to
awesome.
Tim.
And just like, maybe it's just me personally, all the things that I personally dislike about the way that online leagues can develop were kind of happening in there. Like, you had the 19-year-old 7-year extensions. You had commissioner vetoing trades. Like, all of the
That was that. Like, one major thing for me why I wanted to start my own league was like, you would log in and realize you missed 2 sims, and then you would like scroll back through chat. Sorry for myself, I'm going off in the background. But you would log in, you'd realize you missed 2 sims. You'd scroll back through AOL chat, which it was at that time, I think.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
And you'd realize that, like, 11 out of the 20 guys voted to do a sim that day at 3 o'clock.
Right.
And the same thing happened the next day. So there was no website with like a sim schedule or whatever. It was kind of like, it was the wild, wild west, man. You logged on and you just hit download file and you fucking saw what happened. You had no idea.
Right.
So I was like, well, that's not okay. Like, fuck, even if I give you a to be determined, like, it's going to be this time. And if it's going to be 6 a.m., I'll say 6 a.m. But if it's to be determined, it's going to be fucking PM, and you're going to have an hour's notice no matter what time of day it is, But PSD is an important part of the conversation at the very beginning of this story. So it's I'm glad that we got to that in this first podcast. Tim's great. Tim taught me a lot of things. I'll always be thankful to him. But I also got to steal a lot of good players from his league, like you two. And I'll always be I don't know if I should be thankful for that or what I should be, but I'm grateful at the very least.
It all worked out for us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things I always remember about PSD is that Nurse was kind of a goofball in the Slack channel, and I just thought it was funny when we came over here. All of a sudden, he was all, like running the show and very straight laced and shit. And like when somebody would fucking make trouble or give somebody shit, he'd be all over him. I was like, yeah, that's not the same guy. Like that's not the same guy we saw on PSD.
Yeah, I told that to Tim kind of when I first joined PSD. I was like, this is going to be a little bit of an experiment, man. Please bear with me. But that's that's the difference, man. There has to be a little bit of, I don't know, decorum, like professionalism, I don't like it. I'm not a very professional guy. I'm pretty immature. I think dick and fart jokes are awesome. I like drinking beer. I smoke weed, you know. But I also realize that if you're gonna be a fucking immature asshole and a drunk and inconsistent and unprofessional, people aren't gonna want to be in a league with you. So the role I play in this league really contrasts my personality. Like, it's not the character I play in this league is not who I am, really, but it means a lot to me. I like to do a good job. Like, the reason I started my own league is because I wanted to be in a league that was well run. So it's I just try to do the best I can, man. Really.
Yeah, I mean, and you're succeeding in it. It feels genuine. So in I think Canada is a capitalistic society, so you may want to try that a little bit more.
Definitely, if I was in another league, I would not be. I'd be, yeah. I don't know. I'd be the Josh probably in like a different league, just like a little better at running a baseball team.
I thought you guys already got making fun of Josh out of the way.
No, it's never out of the way.
Really never
Top of
stops.
the priority list. Anything you want to talk about, Cubs? Anything, like any questions you have? Anything that, like, I don't know, anything you got?
I mean, we were bantering a little before we started recording about kind of the progression of the league and how things have changed and how, you look at the historical numbers. I think we're looking at easily, the highest levels of offensive production, in Major League history that are coming out now. And there's tons more of these uber prospects on the way. And we've talked about it at length, Slack, and like I said, we were talking about a minute ago. I'd be interested in hearing what your thoughts are. And is that just the Major League Baseball evolves, and is it just that? Is it just this? That's what's happening here, or do you think a course correction will be necessary now or in the future, or what do you think is going to happen with that?
It's hard to say, and it's something we all have to make a decision on. I think there may be some degree of mindless editing on my part that may like have contributed to that. I also would like to think maybe by 2033, 2034, like we might see more players that are more developed in both pitching and batting aspects of the game. Maybe definitely not to the degree that they are in this file, but it's probably definitely a lot to do with me. I may need to intervene at some point. It's hard, man. It's a hard balance to walk. I get people that complain about like free agency pools, so I'm like, okay, well, I should make the draft pool better. So maybe in 7 years we'll have a really good free agency pool, or I don't know. It's hard to say. We gotta really have people in the league like you guys that are willing to step up and question me when it is getting a little bit out of hand, like it may be right now. I'm not willing, or I'm not, beyond reproach. I don't know how to really answer the question, man. It's hard. I try to do my best. Some nights I have too many drinks, and I wake up the next day and I'm like, shit, I probably shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. All in all, though, I think I do run a pretty good ship. It's just, yeah. Is it running a little off course or getting a little bit unrealistic? Perhaps, but like it's also hard to say because it's 2034.
Right.
And I wouldn't. I don't think it's about reproach or saying. I mean, like Bob says, leagues evolve. This one evolved very quickly. I would say maybe we don't. Probably quicker than we would want, but like it hasn't caused a problem, and this is still a great league. I mean, I can, you got nobody wanting to jump ship or anything like that. It's not anything close to a problem. I think the reason for bringing up the conversation is just to come up with we all have a view now of how it can work. And we have a league that's really good and an opportunity to make something that gets even better over time. So the conversation, I think, probably is more about all right, we got this league that looked a lot different than 2019, 2020 MLB. What do we do with that? Where it's gone? Like, do we come up with, do we keep editing players in the same fashion? Do we edit them in the same fashion but in different numbers? Do we not edit them in the same? You know what I mean? I mean, it's more about where we're going than where we've been.
I'll respond to that in a few different ways. I'll say maybe in one or two or three different ways. Firstly, I would say, like, this right now is important. Like, we're actually, now that we can have this conversation in a fashion that's not like dragged out over days in Slack chat, or like we can have important conversations here, and I think this is an important conversation, and we need to have more of them, because you're probably right. And then, like, the second part I would say is, like, for me, this has been a huge learning curve. And sometimes when you edit a guy for a draft pool, it really takes 4, 5, 6 seasons for you to see what you have done. And
for sure.
So now I'm like seeing all that, and so I think it's been a big learning curve for me. You said, like, do we need to change our habits or what? Absolutely, we do. Absolutely, 100%, we have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think where we're at right now isn't, necessarily a problem. Things that are happening in the league right now isn't a problem. I mean, so we had the National League ERA last year was 4.97, which is really high. That's the highest it's been in the major league since 1930. It was also 4.97. And those two are tied for second all time. I mean, like 1894 it was 5.32, but nothing's ever been above that. So 4.97, second highest, tied. 1930 was the last time it was done. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but like I said, I do think that we've gotten a lot more of these Uber prospects in the pipeline, and so
Yeah.
I think that I don't think that we've reached the apex of this trend by any means. I bet you this year it'll be over 5. It'll keep getting higher. Which, look, like I said, leagues evolve, and if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. I think that you can still play this game that way. It's just that is, as Larry said, it is changing quickly, and it's something, as Nurse said, we all have to be together, mindful of it.
I need someone to be calling me out on my bullshit too,
Well, and like I mean, I don't think it's that though. I wouldn't take it that extreme. Like, it's not something you need to be called out on. It's I can tell you what my opinion of the worst part of the way that we've done things here, and the best part. And I can't draw a line where I think that things should stop, because the worst part is that, like, if I'm separating them, the worst part would be that in 2030, a World Series team, and in 2033, I got a team that can't make the playoffs, and that team's changed very little. That would be the worst part. But the best part about it is that you can't have a league that has this much success with a bunch of middling prospects coming through the draft every year and needing to rebuild your organization over the course of 8 years.
And it goes back to what I was talking about earlier with, like, the Rule 5 draft and all these things. Like, you can't hoard all of these players. Like, all we're doing is creating parity. So
Yeah.
even if there is a whole bunch of really good players, like even Bob, you're a good example right now. Like, and I hate to even say this to you, but like, you have a really, really good player, like a top end player, like a world class pitcher who spent his cheap years playing for a bad team.
Yeah.
That's so bad, man. Like, but that creates parity because when your team is gonna be really good, you're gonna need him and you're gonna have to pay him.
I mean, he went to the
So
World Series. Let's not overstate it here.
no, you're right, but
I mean, he was fine on that, but he wasn't.
but those types of
He's still a pro.
situations are just gonna lead to like that's what I don't know. We kind of need that to happen.
Well, I guess my point is, I mean, you've got like you've got two different types of teams. You got teams like Boston who are, I mean, fucking people out of their.
I just imagine Boston. Imagine our Boston guy in PSD.
Oh my god! I mean,
He
like,
just
it doesn't
win.
matter
It would
what
just
a
be
scout-
like it'd be like 19 championships in a row.
It doesn't matter what a scout says. I mean, he just finds a way. Like, so you either got that or somebody who the successful teams in the league are either that or a rebuild. And it's fine. The reason it's probably fine, I mean, you'd love to have a league where everybody's there all the time and you're always coming back. But the reason that we have 30 managers right now and that we keep at least, 26 at worst all the time is because we've got prospects coming up at all times that are just exciting as hell, and that creates frustration for teams that are trying to compete on an annual basis.
Yeah, we give teams hope.
But it also creates excitement for those teams that are rebuilding.
Yeah, they have hope. They have a fighting chance at the future.
So it's tough. I don't know.
It's hard, man. It's a hard line to balance, really. So, Bob,
Dude,
what do you remember about the 2017 playoffs?
2017 playoffs? I mean, I think you ran the whole thing in one night. I think at that time in the league, you were doing playoffs all in one night.
Why was I doing that?
I don't know. I don't know what. Well, I will tell you. I don't know why you were doing it then, but I know for a fact that the 2017 playoffs is the reason you stopped doing it.
So
I can guarantee you that.
Tim from PSD ran the playoffs all in one night.
Then, well, that's probably why.
So I was like, well, that's how we run the playoffs, boys.
That's how it's
It's the playoffs tonight, boys. Here we go.
Right.
I got a case of beer. We're gonna fucking sim the playoffs. Here we go.
So we run through the wild card. We run through the first round. I think there's like some breaks in between, but then we run pretty quickly through the championship series. And there you go. Oh, hey guys, my girlfriend's family is here. I have to go cook them dinner. And Mike and I are like, okay, well, we're excited. We're pumped up. It's the second year of the league. We're ready to go. We'll wait. And I think maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe went by. And we're starting to get panicked because you said you were coming back. So we're waiting. We're sitting there. I'm drinking. I'm sure Mike's drinking. We're waiting for you. It's getting to be later and later. And finally, you did come back. We run it through the 20. I mean, it ended the way it was supposed to. Walk-off grand slam, Kyle Schwarber in Game 6. Cubs win the World Series. The curse is broken. Everything's right in the world. Fast forward about, I don't know, 2 years of real lifetime. Come to find out, I don't think there was a girlfriend. There was certainly not a girlfriend's family, and there was absolutely not a dinner for the girlfriend's family happening. You just got fucking wasted and puked your brains out for 2 hours, and then came back and finished off that World Series like a champ.
Yeah, there was it was after the league championship series that I realized I had fucked up. The case of beer was absolutely delicious. There was no family, there was no dinner, there was a girlfriend. And I just fucking remember like looking at the screen, but like my forehead was like pressed flat against the desk, and there was like a garbage pail on the ground in between my legs, and I'm just like puking, like wasted, like so bad, and I fucking passed out, man. And I just the next thing I remember is I wake up, open my eyes, like puke all over me, look at the screen, and everybody's still there, and I'm just like, here we go, boys.
If we
And
weren't
fucking,
just there,
I finished the rest of the final round, dude. I'm not kidding you. With my forehead flat against that desk, I was able to tilt my head up and like look up to confirm pictures and hit go, and it was disgusting. It was the worst.
Now, do you I don't know if you remember this, Nersha, that you were in the ALCS that year?
No, I don't remember anything.
Do you think that's why you lost 4-2 in the ALCS?
I have no idea. I could not tell you, man.
We weren't just sitting there waiting for you. I think that we were tagging you at least once every 5 minutes, going, "Hey, we're still ready." Everybody, Mike and I were not ready to call it quits that night.
Yeah, that was so bad. I remember like even thinking, being wasted, I was like, if I don't do this, if I don't find a way to pull this out tonight, like I'm not going to have any credibility. So as much as this is going to suck, like I can't go to bed right now, man. Like this is pretty bad. But I did it. I got it done. It was brutal, and I will never, ever, ever. So, like, guys can chirp all they want. I'm doing the playoffs in 4 sims, man, because I want to enjoy myself. I want to have a few beers while I do it, and not have to worry about it.
It's good.
I totally agree with
it. Good the way we do it.
Yeah, totally agree. It's good to take the time with it, and that way we don't have to. We can slow down the sim, and you can watch, if not pitch by pitch, you can do batter by batter and get a feel for the game flow. By the way, Larry, that year, Jose Quintana made 15 starts for the Cubs and had a 2.47 ERA.
Nurse, you won a World Series in 2016. What was that all about?
That was all about the real life Blue Jays being good. Not a lot to do with me at all. I mean, I made a few trades that year.
I want you to get 15 people in this recording that were in the league at that time and do a poll about who thought maybe you were cheating.
I think every single... That was the worst. It was terrible. I had several messages that year after that happened. And I was like, man, like, I thought this was the reason that you started this league, was because the commission, like, we were going to have a league where the commission wasn't cheating. And I'm just like, man, like, fuck off. Like, look at the trades I made. Like, you really think that, like, I mean, the scouting reports are there. Like, you fucking, like, I wish I could take credit for that championship even to this day. The Jays could have won the championship that year in real life, man.
Yep. I mean, I pulled Richard Urania off of Colorado at some point because he had left the organization.
Yeah, I mean, let's let's put it out on the table and be honest about it right now. I'm not that good of a fucking baseball guy, man. I'm not that good of a baseball GM. I'm learning more. You can tell. I mean, the things we're talking about and the editing of players, and like, this has all been a learning process for me. If there was a video game like this for hockey, I would have never done this. If the Blue Jays hadn't have been great those 2 years, this league would have never happened. I mean, I was totally on a baseball high, and this scratched an itch that could not be scratched otherwise. So I started this league. I got into baseball. I got into this game, you know. I'm still learning to this day. I'm not a good baseball GM, man.
That's amazing. How about that 2016? I'm looking at these numbers here, Nurse. Brett Cecil,
Yeah, man. I mean,
84 games, 102 strikeouts in 71 innings, a 1.77 ERA.
auto.
This is fun, and this isn't any more than an observation. Just go back. I mean, like, this is White Sox centric, but go back and look at the 2025 team, and that team that won a World Series, and that was that was exciting as hell. And I was like, my rebuild from the beginning. A lot of players on that team were from the rebuild, but that team would struggle to win 50 games in today's MLM, and that's not a bad thing. It's just it's fun how far we've gone.
Any trade I made in that first year was like proposed to me, and like, I was so focused on just trying to make the league run and like figure out the logistics of it all. Yeah, man, like, I wasn't doing too much of anything that year. It's absolutely remarkable. And it goes to show you, like, sometimes teams that don't export do really well. Like, fuck, man. That year, I was just on... That team was on autopilot, man. There was nobody running it.
Somebody should do
another real life crossover there. You had Lucas Giolito on that 2025 team.
And the 2028 team.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was
another
kind
one.
of interesting. It was kind of interesting how many of the moves. Like, I had a guy named Casey Gillespie on the 2025 World Series team. That is a guy that I think they've released him, but they traded with the Rays for 2 years ago in real life.
Amazing.
I'm a fucking prophet, man.
I was gonna say, we should really at least parody what Justin might say if he were a member of MLM in 2016 when he won the World Series. I mean, like, how off? I mean, he could have single-handedly, with one monologue, brought the entire league down.
I mean, the first thing that this would never happen.
No, I had to build up years of credibility for the league to be able to handle Justin.
The first thing you would say is this would never happen on Jock Brokers. And I can promise you that.
Shout out, Justin.
We love you.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. And it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
everyone, this is Jeff from the Fox and the Hare. We hope you enjoyed our new take on an old classic. If you did, don't forget to check our single, We're Golden, in the description below. Thanks and happy opening day.